Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I am Laramie and I'm going to be your moderator for today's webinar on everything CK-12. And as you can tell from the title, we have quite a bit to cover. But before I introduce you to today's presenter, I'm going to go over a few logistics about the Zoom webinar platform so that everybody can be comfortable with working it. First, you should see two different options on your Zoom screen. One is for Q&A and one is for chat. During today's presentation, whenever you have a question about CK-12, please post it in the Q&A window, and then our presenter will pause for a Q&A section after each major topic to address any of the questions that have been submitted. The chat window is a place for a community conversation. We'd love for you all to introduce yourselves there in the chat window. If you're an educator, please feel free to share your state, district, or subject that you teach. And then just make sure in the chat window that you're sending any general posts to everyone and not just to CK-12 or the panelists, or nobody else will see it. Also, while we obviously don't anticipate any technical issues during our broadcast, if you are having any trouble with your video or your sound, please let us know in the Q&A or chat window. Now that we've gone over the logistics for the webinar, it'd be great if we found out just a little bit more about you. So you're going to see a poll here in a few seconds that's going to prompt you to respond to just two quick questions. The first question is to give us an idea of how long you've been using CK-12. So just give us a quick answer, a quick response on that. And then the second question asks how familiar you are with CK-12 tools and resources. Now this information is really going to help us deliver the most relevant content. So if you want to just check any that apply for things that you've used in class, things that you personally found particularly helpful to you or your students, that would be great. It'll help us customize the things that we're going to talk about today. Now I'm going to wait for just a few seconds here, give you all a chance to respond. And definitely, like I said, you can choose all that apply on that second part. So if you have more than one, go ahead. Okay, wonderful. Oh, looks like here it's someone saying they only saw one question, but I think that'll be fine. Oh, it looks like the first question came up and then the second question was spaced after that. I see. Yeah, there we go. Thanks, Chaya. Okay, as soon as everybody gets a chance to check all the things that they've been using, we'll move on. And then as soon as everybody's put their answers in, our presenter is going to review the answers, and then we'll customize what else goes on during this presentation based on those. Okay, thank you all for your participation there. Now let me introduce you to CK-12. The mission of CK-12, which, by the way, was founded in 2007, is that we're a leading nonprofit organization dedicated to improving student learning by increasing access to educational materials through the FlexBook platform and concept-based modalities. The CK-12 offers high-quality, standards-aligned, open content through an integrated set of tools for learning, including the digital textbooks that everybody's seen, concept-based learning resources, simulations, interactive practice, and lots of others. And the best part about it is the price. Everything is free and always will be. Our core content and curriculum is for middle school and high school math and science, with some K-5 practice and videos. However, with the addition of donated resources and user-created content, you'll be able to find books for other subjects and levels, especially related to social studies and English. Now, as you may have noticed a minute ago, since we were founded in 2007, next year's 2017, that means we're about to celebrate our 10-year anniversary. We're going to have a party here at the office, and we want everybody to be a part of it as much as possible. So CK-12 is going to travel around the country to highlight different districts, different schools, teachers and classrooms who are all using CK-12 in dynamic ways. We would love to actually visit you. So if that's something that you would like to be a part of, please reach out to us by email or phone, because we'd love to come and see how you're using CK-12 in your own classrooms. Now, we have a lot of people that ask how large our foundation is. They see all the resources that we offer, all the things that we do, and they figure it must be a huge organization. But believe it or not, the website is run by a small team of only about 35 people in Palo Alto, with a few colleagues working outside of California, like me. I actually work out of Colorado. And then also some members in our India office. We love what we do, and we're thrilled to give people all over the world access to our quality content and resources. Now I'm going to introduce you to today's presenter, Lindsay, and she's going to help explore what CK-12 has for you.
Awesome. Thanks, Laramie, for that introduction to CK-12, and thank you to everyone who has joined us today. It's pretty clear from that poll that you all answered that we have a wide variety of people here today. Many of you are beginners who are brand new to the site, and a small portion of you say you've been using CK-12 in some form for a few years. And a few people who've been using us for a long time said that maybe they're only using a portion of our resources and tools. So my hope is that this webinar will speak to all of you and either give you a refresher on resources that are familiar to you, or even better, give you new ideas for how to invigorate your classroom. So specifically today during this webinar, I'm going to be covering the following topics. We're going to be talking about FlexBooks, from how to find them and how to customize them. We have an adaptive practice tool, and I'm going to explain to you how our system works and how you can assign practice to students. We have some interactives, our CK-12 simulations and our PLIX that I'm going to demonstrate for you. And then we're going to talk about groups and assignments, creating assignments, and then how to see student progress, and we'll even touch briefly on learning management systems. For each of these resources and tools, I'm going to describe the what, why, and where. What it is, why you should use it, and where you can access it. Now, since this is everything CK-12, I'm going to move fairly quickly, but don't worry, I'm going to break after each section so our team can answer any questions you're submitting to the Q&A window. Also, rest assured that we have a comprehensive help desk and support system where you can get quick and easy answers to any questions you might have as you are exploring on your own in the next days and weeks after this webinar. You can access this information from the help option on the top menu bar or on the side tab that says support. Okay, so let's get started with a just really quick tour of our site. When you go to CK12.org, you will find an educational platform providing standards-aligned STEM resources that can be accessed anytime, anywhere, and on any device, all for free. As you can see on the home page, we offer a number of ways to access our content. You can jump straight into our interactive simulations or PLIX, our practice or materials schools have published on our site. You can search for any content using our search bar from the home page or from the tops of other pages. Below that are links for our major branches of content. These include topics for math and science, as well as other subjects under more. If we pick a subject, let's say we do a science topic, let's go to physics, you'll see two tabs, FlexBooks and Concepts. Many people know us as a FlexBook company, and you can find those free customizable textbooks under that tab. However, we have moved beyond textbooks to concept-based learning. A variety of resources and modalities can be found under the Concepts tab for any subject as well. If we continue to scroll through this content, you'll see hundreds of individual concepts that you can choose. So let's pick a subject down here. Let's pick a concept on laws of reflection, and that will take us to our concept page. Here you'll see our featured resources, which include our text videos, simulations for physics, PLIX interactives, and practice. These aim to allow students to explore and learn a topic through various modalities. To use these resources, all we ask is that you quickly join if you're new or sign in. You can do this in seconds up at the top using Google, Facebook, or your own email address. This allows us to keep track of all your work in one place on our system while you get full access to all that CK-12 offers for free. As you just saw, there are a number of different ways to learn any concept on CK-12. We enrich every concept with modalities to help meet students' needs the best way possible. These core modalities include our reads, which are text lessons essentially, simulations, interactive PLIX, which I'll showcase for you later, videos, practice, also known as assessment, and even real-world applications. Our platform allows students and teachers to choose their own pathways for teaching and learning, but we provide tools like this, our concept map, to show how concepts relate to one another, even across disciplines. As you encounter links for the concept map on our website, take a few minutes to explore this rich tool. Now, while we encourage you all to think deeply about concept-based learning, we know that many of you are still interested in using textbooks. Well, thanks to our digital FlexBooks that we've been creating for almost 10 years now, you can say goodbye to expensive, heavy, outdated, and overpriced textbooks that you rarely use and say hello to customizable, current, and interactive books available anytime, anywhere, and on any device. So what is it? The CK-12 FlexBook platform allows users to edit or create content to produce a custom textbook. As you probably guessed by the name, we put two words together, flexibility and textbook, and designed these FlexBooks to overcome some of the limitations of traditional textbooks, as well as to reduce the cost of textbooks for the K-12 market because they're all easily accessible, customizable, and free. FlexBooks are ready to use and easy to tailor to your specific course and share with your students. Anyone, including teachers, students, parents, can simply use the book as is, or if you're compelled, you can delete chapters, reorder the lessons, edit the text, or embed links and videos. Currently, there have been almost 150,000 FlexBooks customized on our site from users all around the world. In addition to the website, there is a CK-12 FlexBook app available for all smartphones and tablets. You have the power to read the entire collection of CK-12 FlexBooks on any personal device, and you can download the textbooks to read offline with the app, making the content available anytime, anywhere, even without connectivity. So be sure to go to the app or Google Play Store and download it today. Okay, so where do you find a FlexBook to use or customize? If you're looking for a whole curriculum or textbook for, let's do a math subject, say algebra, you can pick the related branch and then click on the FlexBooks textbooks option at the top. Here you'll see books for related levels of middle school and for high school. You'll also see our concept books and our original FlexBooks. The original FlexBooks include more traditional lessons which cover multiple skills or concepts, while the concept books break down those lessons into smaller bite-sized chunks, which then correlate directly with our practice and other concept-based resources. If you scroll back up to the top, you'll see that we have a few filter options. One that allows you to filter by English or Spanish, and also a levels option allowing you to filter by basic, at grade, or advanced. If you're looking for standards aligned content, you can also use our standards browser to find any Common Core or NGSS aligned content. This browser will help you directly pull concepts related to any particular standard, while our standards FlexBook search will pull up CK-12 FlexBooks that include standards for a particular state, subject, or grade. What's so great about our system is that you have the ability to edit content on CK-12 at the level of the whole book, all the way down to the actual text within any section or lesson. We'll use the CK-12 Physics Intermediate book for an example and show you how quickly you can customize it to better address your needs. We'll start here from the table of contents for this general high school level FlexBook. Okay, so let's hit Customize to open the editing window. I can change the title of the FlexBook to something easily recognizable, like a physics customization demo that we did for the American Association of Physics Teachers. Next, you can click on a blue arrow by the chapter to reveal the chapter lessons. Let's reorder these lessons. It's pretty easy to just drag and drop. You can also delete any lessons by clicking on the X and then selecting Remove. I'll do that one more time here. So now let's edit an actual lesson by clicking on the pencil icon. This will open up a new editing window in which I can change the content. I can delete things I don't want, and I can add new content or text. I can also add links to other websites. I can insert images by entering an image URL or uploading a file from a computer. And I can even embed multimedia like YouTube videos. If I'm ever stuck, I can find support right on this page. Then I can save my edits as a draft or finalize if I'm finished. Once I save, you're going to see that my changes will appear right away. There they are. My customized FlexBook can be found in my library. So let's go to the library and see if it's there. There it is, the CK-12 Physics Customization Demo. I can share it with my students in many ways, such as by simply providing them with the URL link to the customized book. Remember that while you have the option to do all of this and customize your FlexBook, you are more than welcome to use our books and content as is if you wish to do so. Also, just a quick note that you're able to do all this to adapt and share as a result of our Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial 3.0 license. And you can find out more about the specifics of this license on our site. But the basic rules are that you need to give appropriate credit when you make changes, and you may not use the material for commercial purposes. So we've also made it easy for you to see how other educators have already done the work to customize books by clicking on our school icon on our homepage, or by using the shortcut www.ck12.org/schools. While CK-12 is primarily a STEM company, you can find content related to other subjects, such as social studies and English, by looking at user-created content. This is also a great place to look if you want to find content that may be more closely aligned to your local needs. I just want to show you real quick Tullahoma City Schools. They're a school district located in Tennessee, and they're one of our favorite success stories. They use the CK-12 FlexBook system to develop a standards-based curriculum for the entire district that worked seamlessly on Google Chromebooks. What they did is they diverted the money in their textbook budget toward a technology budget to acquire the bandwidth and additional devices. Simple customization of the FlexBooks included adding an introduction to relevant lessons that tied into the rocket science and engineering that was being conducted down the road at the Arnold Air Force Base, located next to Tullahoma, which was involved in the Mars Science Laboratory and the Mars Curiosity rover. Suddenly, you had students who were excited to read a textbook that started each lesson with how people in their city were applying what they were learning to explore other planets. Pretty cool.
Yeah, actually, Tullahoma's done some excellent work. They're an amazing group of people, and some of the textbook or FlexBook content they've written is just phenomenal. If you'd like to see it yourself, you can actually check out the schools page to find schools around you who are using CK-12. And with that, I think this is a good place to stop and see what kind of questions we have from our users. We have a full team of CK-12 support here with Lindsay, Star, Felix, and Katie to answer your questions. And it looks like we have our first question here. Would students need to have an account to access custom-made FlexBooks? Felix, do you think you can field this question for us?
Yes. Hello to everyone. So to answer that question, it just disappeared. Okay, but to answer that question, you can actually create your own FlexBooks, and there's a couple options of sharing. So if you want to keep it private and not publish it so that people on our site can find it, you can keep it non-published, so it keeps it private. And then how you would actually share that is through the URL for that page. If you want students to not have an account, like if they don't, for some reason, can't create an account, there's a restriction of some sort, you can publish it, and then students will be able to access it without having to sign in. But on that same note, anyone who doesn't have an account, they can access it without being logged in. So there is an option to publish it and have it accessible by anyone without having to sign in. Or if you want to keep it private, just share it between maybe your school and students, you can keep it private, then they would have to have an account, log in so they can view it. And so, okay, a bunch of questions coming in. So I'm looking at one by Juliet. So this, yeah. Okay, it keeps popping up. So she's saying the new app doesn't allow students to put the FlexBook chapters into iBooks and annotate it. That is correct. The FlexBook app on its own doesn't have like an export feature that would allow you to take it and put it elsewhere. That's actually like a new app that we've kind of released. So if you do have any suggestions as far as like features go, we'd love to hear that. But as of right now, that's kind of exporting it into iBooks is not an option. And I'm going to look at this one by Barry. So is there a way to put more than one author's names on one book? Can more than one person edit the same book? So to answer that, there is a way to attribute more than one author, and more than one person can edit the same book, although we do caution against that just because of the way our system does its saving and authoring. There, you can run into cases where you may save something and then someone else working on that book can have their changes overwritten. So we usually say if you want to have a workflow where you have multiple people working on the same book, we suggest you kind of have one person who has an account that's kind of managing the overall FlexBook, and then you can have people work on chapters individually or sections, and then once they're finished, they can share that link with you through a group or just sending an actual the URL to that page, and then you as the, I guess, the kind of organizer can customize that, and then that will add it to your FlexBook, and then that kind of gets you out of the possibility of overriding someone's content. So I'm looking at another one from Juliet. So it says, can I customize one chapter at a time and share via URL? Will this be a PDF? So you can customize one chapter at a time, and you can share it via a URL, but what you end up sharing is just like a HTML. It's just the same as you're looking at, so it's just the HTML page rendering. It's not an actual PDF file. What we actually have kind of coming in place of that is our offline reader, which is a Chrome application. So if you're using Google Chrome, you can install our offline reader, which will essentially give you the kind of the features of having a PDF, so you're not having to be online to look at it. So that is something that's coming, and it's going to be very similar to the FlexBook app. Okay, I'm looking at Cheryl's questions. So Cheryl says, I have edited several chapters and have trouble changing font size, bold, italic, and color of text. This helps my student recognize important vocabulary. Why am I not seeing it? Let me actually, let's see. Let me open up. Okay. Oops, sorry, not video. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. All right, so here we are. So this was for Cheryl's question. She says she's not seeing the font size, bold, italic, and the color of the text. So let me. So I am just opening up an existing one that I have. My account has a few different privilege options, so there might be a couple things that you won't see in your account, but for this demonstration, I can show you the things that Cheryl was mentioning. So the bold and italic, they're both up here. So I typed something in, and I just clicked on bold. Similarly, you can change it to italic or do both. And then the font size. So if you wanted to have like new, say like a heading. So this carried on some of the formatting. I'm just going to go ahead and remove that. So right now this is just like a paragraph tag, nothing special. But actually what I'm doing here now is I'm clicking on the formats dropdown. And so there's a few different options. So like the section 1 will change it to a much bigger in bolder font. If you're familiar with HTML, it turns it to like an H3 tag. It's just kind of like a formatting. So you can do that with, so you can add different sections, or sorry, different headings to it. So section 3, and then the default one is usually the paragraph. So if you're still not seeing that happen, I'm not sure if you were, Cheryl, I'm not sure if you were doing the same thing, but please email us at our support at CK-12.org, and then we can help you from there. But if you're doing what I just did, that should be doing it for you. But if not, there might be something else going on. And so please reach out to us through our support channel, and we can help you out with that.
Okay, guys. Thanks for all the great questions. I noticed there's a couple more there. We'll continue answering them in the background here so that everybody gets a chance to make sure that anything they want to know, they get covered. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next major topic here, which is the adaptive practice. And I'm going to let Lindsay come back on here and take it away.
Great. Thank you. I just wanted to quickly address a few other things that I was seeing in the Q&A and the chat windows. Yes, we are going through a lot of information, and we're doing it pretty quickly because this is your overview of everything CK-12. But we will have this posted online by tomorrow morning. So anybody who needs to go back and review the webinar, you know, go through it slower, pause occasionally, that's going to be available to you. Yeah, and then for those of you who have continued to ask some questions, we're going to get to every single question. So if we started the demonstration before you had a chance to ask, we're keeping that Q&A open, keep it coming, and we will get to that. But for now, I'm going to talk about one of our most exciting products, features, tools here, which is our adaptive practice system. And like I said, we're excited that a lot of districts and schools are using our FlexBooks, but we want to really encourage you guys to go beyond the book. When I'm teaching 150 students in 5 class periods during the day, it's almost impossible to know how each student is mastering an individual concept. And CK-12's adaptive practice system is able to do the heavy lifting for you by adjusting practice questions to meet students where they are in their learning. So, what is it? Adaptive practice is a digital assessment tool that adapts to student input. CK-12's adaptive practice system is a digital tool designed to meet students at their current level of understanding and help them master the next step for any concept. Because of this, our system will bump students up to available harder questions if they are successfully answering or making recommendations such as a text to read, a video to watch, or an interactive to work with. Why you should use it. We have 150,000 questions and reports on assigned work. This is pretty incredible, really. There are a variety of question types from multiple choice, select all, true, false, short answer, and our newest fill in the blank, drag and drop into categories, and highlighting. When students complete work and click submit, they will be able to see information such as the time they spent, their streak, a number of easy, medium, and hard questions they completed. Because our adaptive practice system meets students where they are, a student who is struggling may hit a goal of 10 correct with all easy questions, and a student who is more advanced would have more of a mix of levels. That's what it means to be adaptive. In addition to the website, there is a free CK-12 app available for all smartphones and tablets. This tool provides the ability for students to practice at their own pace on any electronic device, whether they're in school or on a bus or on a way to the game. Really makes it user-friendly. Again, you can easily access our adaptive practice from the CK-12 homepage, but I've included this shortcut to the adaptive practice browse page at ck12.org/practice. So, by clicking on the View All Practice, I am taken to a page with all the subjects that we have to practice. I'm going to stick with my demonstration subject of physics, And because I'm logged in, there's a percentage next to concept showing the score from previous practice. Let's try a concept I have not yet done practice for. Here is a practice dashboard for the concept. You can see some recommendations to prepare for the practice with reads, videos, simulations, and the estimated time to complete the practice is there as well. So when I click Start Practicing, here I am. The first question starts at an easy level, and notice hints are available to help students as needed. If I answer correctly, I get immediate feedback with a positive message. The next question is a little harder, and I'm going to use the scratch pad for my math calculations. So questions can continue to get harder, and maybe I will go ahead and get this next one wrong. You'll see that I will still get a motivational message saying all experts start as beginners. And if I would continue to answer incorrectly, I would be prompted to watch a video or do a read. For the purposes of this demo, I'm going to submit, and you can see it has tracked my progress, the percentage of the practice I completed, the time spent, my best streak. If this were assigned to me by a teacher, my teacher would have access to this report as well. I can scroll down and review which ones I got right or wrong. And because I'm logged in as a teacher, it gives me the option to download it as a worksheet or to customize the practice tool. So by customizing it, here's where I actually take our practice and turn it into a quiz. First thing I can do is change the title. Then I can make other edits here. I can click on the pencil and edit the number of questions in my quiz. I can rearrange the order of the questions. I can uncheck questions to shorten the practice. And then I can actually add a new question. And this is exciting because we have all these different question types for you to choose from. And this is a pretty easy interface for you to type in a question. I'm just going to type in a word. And then you can type in answers as well. And as you scroll down, you can say whether this is an easy, medium, or hard question. You can see the concept. And then once you submit and say you're done, you'll see that my new question shows up at the bottom of the quiz. So I really hope that you go to the website and try this out. If you haven't ever experimented with the practice, it's a tool that's really going to get your students excited. Picture your students completing practice problems on their smartphones. I mean, for students who are struggling when they get stuck, they won't quit, but they'll rather watch a short video or read a short article on a topic and then try again. For any students who are excelling in your class, they're being constantly challenged through our system with these adaptive questions. So that sounds like personalizing the learning experience to me.
No kidding, Lindsay. And actually, the adaptive practice is a phenomenal tool. The ability to customize practice questions and then choose specifically which ones you want your students to work on really allows you to make your coursework come alive, and then allows CK-12 to help you with the grading and help you stay on track with what students are doing with their, what students are keeping up with their obligations and which ones may need a little more nudging. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of what our adaptive practice tool looks like and what it does. And I think this is probably a good place to pause and field a few more questions from our participants here. So let's see, it looks like we got maybe a couple over here. Felix, do you have just a moment?
I do. All right, so let's see. So Joey was asking, how did we pull up the customization tool? So share my screen. Okay. So I'm going to go to a quiz. So I'm in my library and I am creating a quiz. Title. Question set. So here I am selecting, let's just go with drilling down into all these. So here's one that has 9 questions. Select that guy. So now that I've added it, there's a couple options that have appeared here. So there's an option to just completely remove this question set, or you can edit, which is nice. And so if you click on the edit, you actually get to see what questions are appearing. And so these are actually the same questions that kind of run through our adaptive practice system, but creating a quiz kind of gives you a little more flexibility as you can go in and choose the questions that you actually want your students to see and to attempt. So expanding this kind of brings up the preview option, so you can see like how it would look as they're going through it. And then if you wanted to add your own question, so there is an option here at the top, this button to add a question. So it's going to save, and then it's going to bring up this customize tool, which was what we were seeing in the video. And then we had another question that was asking, how do you add math expressions? So within this editor here, and it's actually the same as the editor that we have in our FlexBook editor, there is a math editor which uses latex, however you pronounce it. So this will allow you to do some like really nice math equation. As you can see, like some of the things at the top here are kind of templated for you. So like if you wanted to add a fraction, you can type in a fraction. And then you can also add in, oops, not there. So you can add like different operators, throw in some other. So then you can hit preview. So if you have to do like really, I guess you want to do something more complex than just like add and subtract, and you really want to build out some really nice algorithms, you can definitely use our math editor, which has tons of different, there's tons of different like templates that are already there. And this is what we use when we're building our equations. So if you're going through a book and you see some like really nice formatted equations, we've used the math editor itself. And this is what we would use to build out our equations. I can't get to my.
And actually on that note, if you're trying to build a specific equation and having trouble understanding the formatting, you can actually customize any of our FlexBooks and open up the equation from within the FlexBook and see how it's formatted, or copy and paste the actual latex formatting to your own customized books.
Correct. So I just backed out of there. I just wanted to show how you would get there to that customizing option. So that was, again, adding your own question to like your own personal quiz. And then let's see. The other option, if you didn't want to go through like selecting a whole question set, what I did here was clicked on the add question set, and then there's like a create new questions, which will bring up the same customization tool. So there's a couple ways to get there. Look at the questions. So let me actually. All right, so someone was asking about content for like social studies. So this is our browse page. It has everything that we offer listed here. And then, so besides like math, science,
Okay, actually, I think we're going to move on here. You can find a lot of the other content from the homepage under More, or you can actually do a search specifically for topics in the search bar. And that's one way to find some of the things that aren't STEM content and aren't directly listed. I think, though, that we're going to move on now to one of my favorite parts of the CK-12 website, and that's the interactives. We have tons of different kinds of interactives, and Lindsay is going to demo some here for us. I think she's going to talk about PLIXs first. So Lindsay, do you want to take over and tell us all about PLIXs?
Sorry for that abrupt change. We'll get Felix back in business here. I also wanted to encourage you, it looks like there are a lot of people typing in questions into the chat window that we're just going to panelists. Again, feel free to use the Q&A. That's probably the easiest way for us to see your question so it doesn't get lost in the chat. And then also select everyone in the chat window if you want everybody to be able to see your comments. But you guys are posting great things. We really appreciate it. Again, tons of information. Thanks for hanging with us. And yeah, for this next part, we've talked about FlexBooks, we've talked about adaptive practice, but we're really proud of these interactives that we've developed to bring math and science concepts to life. Teachers can assign our interactives in a lot of different ways. We hear from teachers that they use it as a review, they use it to do some deeper explorations. You can use it within class or as homework using our assign option. And students can use the interactives when they're having trouble understanding a concept or want to explore and interact with an abstract concept in more concrete and a relevant manner. So let's start with our PLIX. Kind of a funny name. You can tell up here what we had in mind. It's a play, learn, interact, and explore. What is it? A PLIX is a visual modality that allows users to animate ideas in a concept through a simple interaction. There are over 1,000 PLIX interactives that can be filtered by subject, keyword, concept, or standard. I really hope we're blowing some people away with these numbers because I'm not sure you guys realize that, I mean, we had so many questions, so many FlexBooks, and we have 1,000 PLIX. That's amazing. Our PLIX can be accessed on the CK-12 website, and you can use it on a tablet. They say that it probably needs to be a 9-inch or larger tablet for it to display properly, or on any computer. So when you land on the PLIX browse page, you'll see tabs at the top for science and math, all kinds of different branches up there. So let's go ahead and let's check out one in geometry. This is a geometry PLIX that focuses on features of a triangle. So let's go ahead and play, learn, interact, and explore. This PLIX allows students to explore a center of a triangle called the circumcenter. This is the intersection of all the perpendicular bisectors of the sides of the triangle, and it is shown with a yellow point. As I change the shape of the triangle, you can see the circumcenter move around. Sometimes it even moves outside of the triangle. In the PLIX, I'm prompted to read a description and follow the instructions as a guide to manipulate the interactive. Then I can just try it out and make some observations. There's also an info tag where information like this pops up that allows me to read additional content that connects to the interactive. When I'm ready, I can test my understanding by answering some challenge questions. Most of our PLIX have 5 challenge questions. Some of them have hints that you can click on. Some of them are true, false. You can see this is, gosh, a tricky one that's going to have select all that apply here. And then our 5th question, we're trying to do something special and help our users join in a discussion about the PLIX by taking them to what we call the PLIX Corner in the CK-12 Cafe. And the PLIX Corner is a new form where users can chat about a featured PLIX with other users. So we hope you'll check it out, go to PLIX, check out all the different branches, and you can have fun for days experimenting with our 1,000 PLIX. The other thing that we call an interactive are our simulations, or our sims. CK-12 sims enable learners to discover laws of physics that govern a real-world setting in a fun and interactive way. Why should you use it? This is a very large collection. It says 89. I think we might have over 100 of real-world physics sims with worksheets, tutorial YouTube videos, and challenge questions. And so the goal for each sim is really to overlay scientific and mathematical descriptions onto a real-world setting that prompts students to think about the laws of physics governing the world around them, possibly convincing them that the laws of physics continue to work outside of the physics classroom. Maybe. That's what we hope anyway. The Sims are all about playing around and discovering through an inquiry-based framework. And all these resources are embedded in the Sim to support both you and your students. Most importantly, these are all free, ready to use today. So where do you get it? In addition to the website, there is a free CK-12 physics simulation app available for all tablet devices. Again, we need a screen that's big enough to really project these, so they're not going to run on smartphones, but they will work on tablets. So say goodbye to wasting precious class time of loading software and guiding students through multiple clicks across the simulation. These are easy to launch, especially through the app with just one click. So here we are on a Sims browse page. I've got the link at the top for you to go check it out. In our collection, we have bobsleds, movers lifting pianos, satellites, bowling alleys, trampolines, and more. All these real world settings, we try to pick things that are hard to replicate in the classroom. These Sims are appropriate for middle school, high school, and introductory college level physics. Topical coverage is broad, and there are many Sims related to earth science, chemistry, and astronomy. So let's check out an example. This is our prom night Sim. It is a result of the beautiful collaboration that takes place between our science teachers, our animators, and our software developers. So like all of our Sims, this one began with an intriguing question and then advances through a video explaining basic concepts and posing further questions to get students to think about the physics behind the real world scenario, which is getting ready for prom. After the introduction, we go into this next phase, which we often refer to as the sandbox, because it's meant for users to play around and discover new things. In this interactive environment, you can find sliders for certain physical variables and graphs or responsive animations to illustrate the relationship between these variables. You're also going to have access to some questions that can be answered by adjusting these sliders. So we call them slider-based questions. Each simulation ends with a set of real-world examples that invites the students to think about applications of the underlying concepts in different physical situations to promote continued learning. And then just as a reminder, the entire Sim, the big questions, graphs, slider-based questions, challenge questions, real-world examples, they're all available in worksheet format. So you can simply assign the Sim to the students and have them turn in their completed worksheet.
Okay, Lindsay, that sounds like a good place to pause again, and we're going to see if people have any new questions about the Sims or the PLIX. And for those of you out there who have used these resources, please feel free to share in the chat window how you're using them with your students. These in particular I think are really the wave of the future as far as teaching. Getting students involved with hands-on activities that really show them why they're learning the things they're learning really helps them, I think, stay engaged with what you're teaching and helps make you look like the fantastic teacher you really are. So please, if you have any questions, post them in the window here. We'll get back and respond to these real quick. And any other comments, please post them in the chat window. Looks like we got a couple of new questions here. Felix, can you talk a little bit about the Sims, whether or not they're just under the physics category, or if we're going to have any for chemistry or earth science?
Yes, so right now we have our physics Sims, but we are working on chemistry simulations. Earth science, I do not believe is in progress yet, but we do eventually hope to get Sims and PLIX for like all of our topics. So the physics Sims were the ones that we started off with, just because physics involves so much different concepts and interactivity. That's the one we kind of wanted to start off with. So next up will be our chemistry Sims. And then eventually, like I said, we want to eventually tackle the rest of our subjects. So
Okay, we have one other question here about funding. I'm going to throw that real quick, and then we're going to get back and talk about groups and assignments. We'll continue to answer the questions, of course, in the background, but we're running a little short on time, and we don't want to keep people overly late. The CK-12 funding is all privately funded, and we love to have anybody that wants to help support us. There are links all over the site for somebody who would like to help contribute to making this free content free for everyone. Now, Lindsay, if you would like to talk to us a little bit more about groups and assignments, that would be fantastic.
Great. Yeah, this is the last topic tonight that we really feel users want to know, since we've been talking about all these different modalities and exciting things, and you want to get them in the hands of your students. I'll also say that we're doing webinars on some of these specific topics. A couple weeks ago, we did one whole webinar just on adaptive practice. I'm sure in the new year in 2017, we'll have one just on groups and assignments. You know, you can talk forever about LMSs. All of these could be their own webinars. And so be on the lookout for those, because I think we'll continue to schedule them as we feel there's a need and users have questions. But in your quick overview here, we've made some exciting changes to our assignments and reports features. And so after you've gotten comfortable with our platform and the concepts and adaptive practice, you can really use these tools to distribute the assignments and see student progress. So what we're talking about here is that in addition to sharing resources, you can use CK-12 groups to create single or multi-concept assignments and review student progress. I mean, this is great for teachers to see how students are progressing and then continue to tailor their teaching accordingly to meet their needs. Assignments can be created and reports accessed on CK-12 through any class group. So some things that will kind of help give you an overview of how this works. Before you can create any assignment, you must create a group. And like I said, groups is, full explanations beyond the scope of this webinar. But essentially, when you log in and click on the groups option for the first time, you're going to have a walkthrough. And your screen's going to look like this. You'll be prompted to add a group name, describe your group, choose the group type, where if you are a teacher wanting to make assignments, you're going to select a class. Study groups is a different type of group that can be used to share resources and things that aren't assignments. So after that, you can choose a theme and you can create your group. We make it easy for you to assign any content. You'll notice across our site that there's an assign to class option that will work with class groups that you've created. You've already seen that throughout the presentation today. Be on the lookout for that little icon, and it's an easy click to get the assignment started. To give you an example of what a class page might look like, on the left navigation bar, you'll see the option to click on assignments when you're on a class page. Here you can see a list of assignments we've created, either using the assign to class option on a modality or by clicking that bright orange button that says create an assignment. So when you create assignments from within your class group, you can assign an individual concept, or you can even combine several concepts and possibly even a quiz into one grouping that's an assignment. Pick a due date if you want, and then you are set to go. If the assignment was for a practice or a quiz, you'll see any progress students have completed in the reports section of your class. So what does the report look like? We've recently made changes to our reporting system, so even seasoned users might not be as familiar with this view. Now we've made it so that you can see your whole class vertically and your most recent assignments at the top. I have a very small class here. I wish your class sizes were that small as well, I'm sure. If you want specifics about any assignment, you can click on the assignment or the percentage, and it will bring up a more detailed report. This is the same thing that pops up when students finish their practice session. So you're seeing what students are seeing in their reports. How they progressed to their practice goal, you'll be able to see the number they've gotten correct, their streak of correct answers, and the time that they've spent. You can also see the breakdown of the types of questions they answered: easy, medium, and hard. If I were to continue to scroll down this page, you would see the actual questions and the answers that students submitted. We also recently changed the teacher dashboard, which will be a great hub for you to have quick access to your groups and browse any relevant content. So be sure to check that out if you haven't already. One last thing that I want to mention is that CK-12 has built various levels of integration for different learning management systems. Information about the LMSs as well as those apps that I mentioned earlier, they're downloadable. You can find that on our tools and apps page. There is a link in the footer section of the CK-12 website that says tools and apps, and it will give you kind of a nice overview of some of these tools. So as far as integration goes, how we integrate with LMSs, it happens in a variety of ways. If you're someone who's using Edmodo, you can assign CK-12 practice directly within that system and see student progress there. If you're using Canvas or Schoology, you can assign practice as well as other modalities such as reading selections and videos and see that students have accessed them or how they have done on any practice or quizzes. For now, our Google Classroom and for any other system where you simply share a URL, make sure to assign that work within a class on CK-12 so you'll be able to see their work in their matching class report. If you are using another LMS within your district, reach out to support at CK-12 if you want to discuss other possibilities with integration. We'd love to hear what tools you guys are using. So whether working with CK-12 Groups feature or an integrated LMS, you have a number of different options to share resources, assign readings and practice, and track student progress. You know, we always say that we aim for learning anytime, anywhere, so students can complete assigned practice or quizzes on their phones, tablets, or any laptop or computer. I hope that gives you a super quick overview of our groups and your ability to assign work and quizzes within CK-12 and through an LMS.
Awesome. Thanks, Lindsay. Let's stop here for a couple minutes and check out a couple more questions. Looks like we have one from Michael Smith, and I think Felix is going to take this one on for us. Felix?
Yes. So the question was, can CK-12 materials and or LMS features be used on standalone or limited access non-internet connected computer networks? So for CK-12 materials, on their own, you can definitely use them as standalone and with limited access using like our offline reader app that's coming out for Google Chrome, and then also our FlexBook app, which allows you to download. You can download the FlexBooks and use them to be downloaded and used offline. For the LMS, that does require some network connectivity because it's talking to the different through our network to whatever your LMS is. So for that, you would need an internet connection, but definitely for our materials, most of them you can use without having an internet connection by downloading them. And then, like I said, with our FlexBook app, you can download the FlexBooks for use offline, and then you won't need internet at all. And then it'll kind of sync up when you connect back to the internet.
Great. All right. Thanks, Felix. Okay, I want to thank everybody for showing up today and joining us. I'm going to wrap up the webinar now with some words of encouragement. And those 3 words are, go for it. Please sign up, sign in, download the free apps, explore our practice tool as well as the other content, and experiment with the customization process. Make your own FlexBooks, make your own fascinating, exciting courses for your students, and then they'll know that these things are made specifically for them. They'll recognize that you're involved, and I think it'll help them get involved. Also, as I'm sure you already know, because I'm sure you're all awesome educators, there's no better way to learn than to jump in and try it out. So get on the website and give it a shot, and there's always help available. Now, I also want to keep you encouraged to keep an eye out for our upcoming webinars. For instance, now that you have a general overview of CK-12, maybe you want to join the Customizing Curriculum with CK-12 websites, I'm sorry, CK-12 FlexBooks. In a few weeks, I think it's coming up on December 15th. This will be the last webinar of 2016, and it's for those of you who are wanting to dive in specifically to the FlexBooks and learn about finding a textbook replacement and customizing it to fit your needs. You can register for any of the upcoming webinars at www.ck12.org/webinars. And I also want to let you know about CK-12's JUMPSTART webpage. JUMPSTART is a program specifically set up for teachers to help you get started designing new curriculum and making the best use of CK-12 options. This past summer, we ran a 6-week program, and we took all the major components of CK-12, and we went in depth week by week. Now, our JUMPSTART page has all the archived videos, transcripts, and a list of participants who might be in a city or a state near you, so you can link up with other people that are already using CK-12. And then another great way to continue this conversation or to network with other CK-12 users and get support from our staff is to join the CK-12 Cafe. From our homepage, you can click on Cafe to see our various forums for both students and educators. I recommend you join the JUMPSTART for Educators Cafe and keep checking back, as we often add state-specific forums in here. And then finally, before we end the webinar, we'll encourage you to answer a short questionnaire to give us feedback on the content and the presentation of today's webinar, since we're always looking to improve your experience. The link to the Google form is listed on the screen now. It should be tinyurl.com/NovemberEverythingCK12. It's abbreviated NOV. Should be sent to everyone in the chat window as well, I think. If not, you should see it there very shortly. And we'll send it to anybody in a follow-up email as well if you registered. Oh, and don't forget to shoot us an email if you'd like us to come visit you about our CK-12 celebration road trip, highlighting all the schools and classrooms that are currently using CK-12. We really would love to come see how you're using CK-12 resources in your classroom and share with other people some ideas and fascinating ways that you're making the best of your resources. Again, thank you very much for joining us today. Let me assure you that you will continue to be supported by our team here at CK-12. We're always happy to help you in any way that we can. You're welcome to send us an email anytime to support@ck12.org. And don't forget to let your social networks know about CK-12 and your participation in our webinars. We're on all the socials as CK-12 Foundation, or you can hashtag CK-12. Okay, I'm going to wrap up today's programming, but we will stay on after to answer any additional questions you'd like our team to take on using the Q&A tool. Thank you very much.